Today, well, maybe a basket case, we'll see. But I think the inside of this Zodiac might be beautiful. Cheers everybody. As always, as you know, I don't do any work up front, so I don't know what to expect. But this Zodiac, well, has to be restored. And most of the Zodiac movements are really nice, except for one thing, and that is the main barrel. Usually there is a bit of a problem with that, because a main barrel with all vintage watches you see here on our YouTube channel Chronoglide, usually a barrel, you can open it and replace the spring. But on some Zodiac movements, the barrel is sealed like how do you call it? Tins, conserved tins, and the sides are bent like this, so you can open it, but then you can never close it again. So we have to see what type of barrel is in this Zodiac movement. It is a Kingline, that is the top line of Zodiac at that time. Automatic, anti-magnetic, Swiss of course, water and shock resistant. We'll see about that. But it is a nice movement. As always, a broken oiler will do the trick. This used to be rubber. That's horrible. I think I put it in the ultrasonic cleaner first. I think this rubber seal is ready for replacement. Automatic. Oh, look at that. Beautiful construction for the fine regulation. This one you don't see too often. Look at this. Lovely spring here. Bit like a swan neck. And then here the fine regulation for the timing. Cool. We have to check if the play is in the pivot. That might be a bit smaller, so it's wobbly. Or the hole over the pivot, and then it's wobbly as well. And now gently lift up. There we go. Must say it looks pretty good, just a visual inspection. I think we found where the play comes from. That should be completely straight. Oh wow. The crown is so worn you cannot even operate, so I have this thingy. It's to grip the crown, and usually it's being used in the industry to wind watches. So now I have a better grip, and now I can remove the power from the click. Now I can remove the crown and take out the movements. Well, no drops of oil, finally. But the seal of the crown is gone, so all kinds of grime and stuff. There we go. The crystal, well, we're going to replace it anyway, but a lot of scratches, and these are scratches, and this, if you reflect the light, is a crack. And I just saw here there are all cracks here on the side because of probably compression. Use this one because I don't know how much tension there is on this spring. Gently upwards, so. So, and when the date ring is gone, then we can work on the other side and make sure the balance wheel is out. Jeweled main barrel, but again here, do not open. This one is pushed back in, and they really do mean do not open. I think they made a hole, not so elegantly, but you can re-lubricate and probably clean or rinse the barrel. Oh well. Not too much wear, not... Oh. Just when I wanted to say not too much oil. You see this? A strange construction, this plate to retain this wheel and that wheel. It's an elegant construction, but unusual. Maybe the friction is not in the cannon pinion. I'm going to remove... No, you can't. Wanted to say, I'm going to remove the ratchet wheel, so we are absolutely sure that there is no tension on the mainspring, because usually when you remove the balance wheel, you remove the pallet fork as well. So the gear train can move freely, so you can see if there's an issue or a broken pivot or a broken jewel. But due to construction, due to this plate, I cannot reach the screw underneath here for the pallet fork bridge. So I cannot remove it, so the gear train is free to release all the power. And I cannot remove the ratchet wheel because of this plate. Ah, hey, look at that. Luckily, the escape wheel is under another bridge. So now I really want to see where I'm holding. That pivot is extremely worn. So if I turn it over, I really want to see how this pivot is probably riveted in this part. Strange how this is milled with this piece still in there. See that? So how we are going to repair this pivot? Ah, it's a replacement part. Excellent. You see that? With the two screws here, this plate is this pivot. So I love stuff like this. I really do. During the design, they already knew that this pivot was probably going to wear. So just the pivot is an extra part instead of the complete bridge. We have just the normal movement. And this is a bit concerning. I'm going to remove the pallet fork first, then we can see if the gear train is completely loose without any pressure on it from the main barrel. And then we have a look at this here, because that looks stained and different. And just the finishing of the parts is beautiful with a straight graining. Okay, so you can here in focus. You see the straight graining? Beautiful stuff. Highly polished pallet fork. What is it? Just gunk. Hey? I don't think it's a jewel. Or steel bushing. Well, we have a look at a minute. Interesting. The way I say it like this, it is a jewel. But then the pivot is probably worn. A lot of end shake. Probably by pushing the second hand on the pivot, but pushing it too hard, so the lower jewel is pushed down. So you really have to support the sweep second pinion when you push on the second hand. So then it cannot be pushed down. And it looks like there's a lot of lubrication in between. Yeah, it's too much end shake. Yeah, so I have to lower this bushing, probably a jewel. It's such a high-end movement, I cannot believe that that isn't a jewel. Hey, and this is unusual. It is a very high-end movement. Really enjoying this. The small hole is just for to make it stationary. This one, so it won't be sliding. That is cool. This is just the winding wheel, but they made a hole in the cover plate of that winding wheel for lubrication of this wheel. So you can still reach this pivot, this jewel. They made a hole in the cover, and that's why this pin is here, so the hole is always just over the jewel. This is the center wheel, and that is next to the main barrel where all the power is. So that is the wheel which the most force is pushing against. So far so good. They've been doing that for 200 years. Nothing has changed. But to make this winding wheel work, they milled out all this. Do you see that? So this pivot is just underneath this very thin piece of metal. So the wheel which needs the most support is just underneath this tiny bit. So it might be a bit flexible. I think it's the first time I see a construction like this with so many a different train of thought during design of the movement. There is some play between the arbor and the nicht öffnen. Well, they could have made this hole a bit more elegant, but then again you don't want to drill too deep in it. So they already made this so you can rinse and try to lubricate the barrel, because, oh, maybe you can see it. Look at the glistening of the teeth. It's very high polished. Crimped bevel cover, sports clay, thank you, that's it. And the extra attention to detail. Look at the curved jewels they used. Do you see that? They convex. Concave. You know what I mean? A bit like this. So the pivot they support is on a dome. So the area that is touching the jewel is extra small because it's domed. It's a beautiful design and been so for hundreds of years. But when the jewel is domed, the area which is touching the pinion or the wheel is extra small. It's beautiful stuff. An oversized screwdriver, so I can give a bit more, well, remove this plate, but there might be a spring underneath. Oh, the spring is over there. Nicely covered. Well, there we are. Oh, maybe the shock system, and that's it. The old lubrication dried up even through the capstone. See that stain just in the middle there? That used to be oil, but now completely dried out. Of the very thin oil that has to lubricate the pivot of the balance wheel, extremely important in a mechanical watch, completely dried up. It's been so long since this watch has seen any maintenance. That's it for me for today. Really enjoyable stream. Thank you so much for well, being here with me. I thought just another simple automatic, and then you see it's different every single time. And not ashamed to say, there were some technical solutions that are quite unique in this design of the movement, and you don't see anywhere else. So yeah. Well, that's it for me for today. Again, thank you so much for being here with me. My name is Kalle Slaap and I'm a watchmaker here in the Netherlands. Please like and subscribe our YouTube channel Chronoglide. And leave comments. What you want to see, if it's enjoyable, if you really don't like my hair, anything you like.